Ultra hello, everyone. We now live in a post-Ultra Sun and Moon world, but even now, the Dex is still here with your favorite trivia and battle strategy fixed. I'm Electrician Alex.
And I'm Poke-Cals, and you can bet your butt we've been playing the crap out of Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Oh yes, we are very well informed on all the new features and crazy antics that are currently underway in Alola.
My favorite part is the photo stuff, probably.
Whatever, who are we kidding? We don't have it yet.
Well, I mean, we have it now by the time you are seeing this, but dang it, we work on production schedule. We film this on Wednesday.
It's killing me. We have 48 hours left to wait, but you already have it. It's like we're trapped in a warp dimension.
In ultra space, no one can hear you meme.
Oh my God.
From what we do know about the latest 3DS Pokemon title ever to be made, the last one ever to be made, you may find yourself coming across a little cutie named Togedemaru while exploring Alola.
It seems small in stature, but there's more to this little roly-poly than meets the eye.
All right, buckle up. It's time to learn all there is to know about Togedemaru.
Going in.
Alola's contribution to the superfamily of electric rodents with circle cheeks is Togedemaru. This unnamed but distinct group of Pokemon are one of the game's most clear cases for common ancestry at work in the series. All of the Pika-clones, as they're unofficially dubbed, share the same eyes, a similar color palette, and the famous electricity-storing cheek pouches that make them totally adorbs.
Unlike its next of kin, Togedemaru have a comparatively harder time generating their own electricity. To make up for that, they've developed long, sharp spines that they can stick straight up and absorb electricity from the outside, like a bunch of miniature lightning rods.
They can use their cheek pouches to store energy for a long time, but they always have to be aware of how much energy they have left. And during thunderstorms, massive groups of Togedemaru all huddle together with their tails up, trying to be struck by lightning.
The sharp spines also protect Togedemaru from attacks, and if threatened, it can roll itself up into a ball and raise its spines up. Thanks to its steel typing, the spines are so sharp and their skin is so hard that most attackers give up because they just can't get in.
Good for Togedemaru. With the exception of pint-sized Dedenne, it's the smallest of the Pika-clones. It's gotta protect itself.
More like gotta go fast, right? Oh wait, did I just ruin the segment when we talk about hedgehogs? Jump the sonic gun a little? Gotta be a reference there, right? Seems like it makes sense, so I want to tell everyone it's true.
Who are you, the physical embodiment of Twitter?
I can fill everyone's timeline with 280 lines of blank space. I'm hilarious.
Okay, Turbo, let's settle down. You are not talking about hedgehogs today, because the secrets behind Togedemaru's name points us to a different animal altogether. Let's parse it out.
That means it's time for Pokemon Entomology?
Sure is. No matter what language you play the game in, Togedemaru's name never changes. That's another commonality between all of the Pika-clones, and no doubt contributes to their lasting popularity.
If you're a smarty pants, you've already picked up that Toge means spike from our Togepi Minidex episode, and that Marui means round from our Azumarill episode. So the phrase Togedemaru literally means spiky and round. Pretty mind-blowing stuff right here.
Oh hush, that's just etymology level 1. Level 2 takes us to the Amami Islands of the Ryukyu Archipelago in Japan. One single island in this group, Amami Oshima, is home to a very silly little creature called the Ryukyu spiny rat, whose common name is Togenezumi. Togenezumi, Togedemaru, the similarities in this name alone have me convinced that this guy is our main influence.
Let's check off some boxes to be sure. Togenezumi and Togedemaru both live in tropical broadleaf forested areas and are only found on one island. Both creatures are rare, Togedemaru only has a 10% chance of appearing in the game, and Togenezumi is listed as an endangered species due to habitat loss and predation. Finally, they both have long spiny hairs that help them defend themselves.
And also importantly, both are rodents. While other kinds of species almost always play into Pokemon design, all the Pika-clones are based on real rodents. Mites, rats, squirrels, flying squirrels, hamsters, etc. Hedgehogs, totally different classification. It may look just like one, but looks aren't everything, kids.
Nice. About that habitat loss though, one of the main reasons for the decline in population of the Ryukyu spiny rat was the introduction of the Indian mongoose to the Amami Islands. That's right, the recurring motif of invasive species rears its ugly head again. Rah!
We know our mongoose equivalent in Alola is Yungoos, who was brought in to help control the rampant Rattata populations. But as is the case in the real world, humans bringing a new animal into an existing ecosystem usually destroys it. Go us. Just kidding. That's bad. We've caused the extinction of so many animals because we did that.
Point is, when you introduce a non-native species for population control, it sometimes works, but often the specific pest you're trying to eradicate isn't the only thing on the menu, so other species suffer for it. Such is the case with Togenezumi, which now only inhabits the western side of one small island in the entire world. And just maybe, that's the reason it's so hard to find a Togedemaru. Bad Yungoos. Leave them alone, dog. Like you though. Man, It always feels like when we deep dive a Pokemon, we find a story about a real-life animal we need to save.
You think that's an accident?
Heck no! If you missed the overarching theme of wildlife conservation that's been present in every single Pokemon game, then you probably are one of those people that skips all the dialogue while playing games.
There are people like that? Why?
To each their own, but you sure miss a lot that way.
Incredulous!
Did you just use the word incredulous as an exclamation?
It's what I'm feeling, and after hearing that, some people skip dialogue.
People don't usually use that word like that, but I'll let it slide because I have more important things to worry about today.
Interested.
Time to roll up and get some of that 2017 VGC Togedemaru strategies into your brain. It's actually a pretty solid little Pokemon.
Indomitable.
Togedemaru is a Pokemon who can work well on specific types of teams if you play really, really carefully, to the point that I almost feel like that's the theme of the Pika-clones these days. So, if you've got a Tapu Koko and something that benefits from Lightning Rod being out on the field, start with a Jolly One and super train it in attack and speed. Ultra Sun and Moon are out now, so this is the last VGC 17 stuff we'll ever do. Party!
Togedemaru's whole strategy centers around forcing your opponent to deal with the hijinks instead of whatever they were planning to do. And its ability Lightning Rod, which draws in electric-type attacks and uses them to boost its special attack stat, is a major part of this. So pair Togedemaru with someone dangerous who begs for electric attacks like Gyarados or Celesteela to start the mind games right away.
Togedemaru also has access to Fake Out, which has priority and causes your opponent to flinch on your first turn out. But unlike some other users of this move, it's best to let your opponent know you're using it right away so that later you can trick them into getting hit with your Encore when they try to protect against your Fake Out.
And speaking of flinching, we also recommend using Togedemaru's signature move Zing Zap on this set, because not only does it enable it to do some actual stab electric damage, it also has a 30% chance of causing your target to flinch, which can further exacerbate your opponent's bad feels as this sweet little rolly ball steps inside their mind.
Now remember, the trick here is to keep your opponent in this weird vortex for as long as possible, so make sure and give Togedemaru a focus sash to hold, and for once, instead of suggesting Protect, we'll get slightly more active and recommend Spiky Shield, which still blocks pretty much all attacks, but also damages anyone who makes contact, which gives your opponent yet another thing to have to worry about in the middle of all this.
And that's it, but of course that's not the only way to train a Togedemaru, so as always, here are a few random thoughts. Okay.
Some people like to toss Togedemaru onto an Earthquake team as well, but to do that, you'll probably have to switch from the Focus Sash to the Air Balloon. In the end, it really comes down to however you want to build the rest of your team, but we figured it's nice to at least know the options there.
Another way some people like to go is with Nuzzle, which is basically a physical version of Thunder Wave that also makes contact and has 20 base power. Use this if manipulating your opponent's speed is more important to you than trying to flinch them with Zing Zap.
As we've already mentioned, any good Togedemaru set is going to mess with your opponent's head, which means you can probably expect a fair amount of switching and free turns on their end. If you think you might be able to capitalize on this to maintain momentum and also reset your Fake Out with a U-turn, be our guest, as Lumiere the Candlestick might say.
And finally, it's probably at least worth mentioning that Togedemaru's other ability is Iron Barbs. It removes your team's electric immunity in favor of taking 1/8 of the opponent's HP every time they make contact, but sometimes you'll probably be able to bluff your opponent anyway, and if you can get a Spiky Shield or two in there as well, that's a lot of HP you'll both be losing. So make sure you at least offset that on your side with a Citrus Berry. Woo!
And that's it. Now you're in the zone with a Pika-clone.
What does that actually mean?
I don't know, but it rhymes.
Guys, if you liked what you saw today, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you never miss an update. And if you want to rep us with some sick decks merch or join our official community on the Discord, follow the links in the description below.
For more trivia, strategies, and Pokemon news, click on one of these futuristic end card thingies, and if you got a second, why not take the time to acknowledge our excellent Patreon patrons who support us not only financially, but also in the way a flying buttress holds up Notre Dame. I'm Electrician Alex.
And I'm Pokekells. Tune in next week for another explosive episode of
The Decks.